Yes, students. Today we are going to talk about central problems of an economy. Why are these problems called central? Because they exist in all economies, whether it is developed or developing, whether it is rich or poor, whether it is mixed, capitalist or socialist. All kinds of economies face these problems. So we have given these problems to be a term, that is central problems. Central means they are central to all economies. All economies are basically tackling these problems only. Okay, so we have given a term, central problems of an economy. Means you can't say that these problems exist in India and they will not exist in USA because USA is a rich country. No, no matter how rich you are, these problems will be there because human wants are unlimited in any case. So we have given them to be a term, central problem. Okay, second slide talks about what are the central problems. Actually, at 11th level there are three central problems we are going to discuss: what to produce and in what quantities, how to produce and for whom to produce. There are two more problems which you will study in graduation, that is problem of economic growth and problem of fuller utilization of resources. See, I have limited resources, I can't produce everything, so I have to make a choice what to produce and what not to produce. Okay, so I have to make a choice between what to produce and what not to produce. Okay, I can't produce everything, and I can't decide ki, okay, I will produce wheat and I will not produce cloth. So I have to make a choice of quantity as well. You know, I have to make choice of quantity as well. So I have to decide what to produce and in what quantities. Okay, second one is how to produce. Now once I have decided, suppose I will be producing wheat, clothing, shelter, education, health, I will have to decide about technique also. Like if I have to produce education, it can be produced in a face-to-face situation or it can be produced online. Okay, similarly if I have to produce health, that can be produced in many ways. Okay, for whom to produce. Once I have decided what to produce and how to produce, my goods are produced. Now the question arises, who will consume these goods, for whom I have produced. So one by one I will be discussing in different slides these central problems in detail. So these are the three central problems we shall be talking. You remember, whether it will be your UT or first term or final, this is one question which is confirmed. One of the problem will be there. Explain the problem of what to produce, explain the problem of how to produce, explain the problem of for whom to produce. Any one problem must be there, 99% cases. Okay, now question arises, why do these central problems arise? What is the cause behind this? Actually this is the economic problem, and there are same causes behind it as we had in our central problems, economic problems. What were these? Unlimited wants, limited resources, resources have alternate uses. Now just imagine with me, had it wants been limited, there would have been no economic problem. All my wants would have got satisfied and I could lead a happy life. But the problem is my wants are unlimited. My wants are unlimited, so there are unlimited wants I have which I want to fulfill. Now because I want to fulfill unlimited wants, but my resources are limited. If my resources were also unlimited, there would have been no problem. But the problem is my resources are limited. Now because my resources are limited, my wants are unlimited, I have to make a choice. Imagine you had unlimited income. In that case, you will go to a shop and you will ask the shopkeeper, pack the shop for me. You will not choose a dress. You will not choose a dress. You will simply say, pack the shop for me. Okay, now if resources had no alternate uses, one resource had only one use, you can't make a choice. You never make a choice whether I should breathe or I should not breathe. No, because you don't have a choice. You never make a choice whether I should sleep or I should stop sleeping in my life. You don't have a choice. After 18 hours, and if you have good stamina, after 21 hours, you need a nap. you know Third degree torture is given to criminals, that they are forced to wake up for 3 days, and after 3 days they lose their mental balance and they can tell you whatever you want to know from them. So sleeping is my basic need, I can't survive without it, so it is, I have no alternative. Okay, so these are the three causes. Why do central problems arise? If this is the question in exam, you will make a chart of this sort and explain it further the way I had explained yesterday. I explained today also, but the way you have to write it, that you can refer to. Then unlimited wants and limited resources. Unlimited wants and limited resources means my wants are unlimited, my resources are limited. Now this is giving birth to scarcity. This scarcity is giving birth to choices. Now I have to make a choice. There are alternatives, I have to make a choice. Remember, economics can never be applied if there are no choices. We can never apply economics to whether to breathe or not to breathe. We can never apply economics to whether to drink water or not to drink water. We can apply economics to, like, if I have rupees 1,000, whether to buy clothes out of it or to buy grocery out of it. I can apply economics to, if I have a piece of land, whether to grow wheat on it or to grow rice on it. So there must be alternatives, choices. Only then I can apply economics. And out of these choices, I take three decisions. One is what to produce, second is how to produce, and third one is for whom to produce. Now, one by one, I will be discussing these three problems with you. Yes. So our first problem is what to produce. What to produce means I have to make a choice whether I should produce more of capital goods or consumer goods. If I produce more of capital goods, I will be left with lesser resources to produce consumer goods, right? Like I have a fixed amount of land, a fixed amount of labor. If I'm utilizing that labor to produce sugar, cloth, wheat, ghee, etc., then I will not be having labor to produce machines, tractors, etc. So I have to make a choice whether I should produce more of capital goods or I should produce more of consumer goods. Okay, and remember, this is a choice between present and future. If you choose more of consumer goods, your present will be beautiful, but if you choose more of capital goods, your future will be beautiful. And we can't compromise entire present for the sake of future, and we can't enjoy present at the cost of future. So we need to make a balance between present and future. I don't like those students who just keep studying. They do nothing in life. They never participate in any activity. They never dance. They never listen to music. They have no friends. I don't like those learners. I also don't like those learners who do these things only and never ever pay attention. So I am a person who believes in equilibrium, right? So I have to make a choice uh, how I should proceed. Okay. Then comes when an economy has taken a decision what to produce. Once I have decided I will be producing sugar, cloth, wheat, and machines. Okay, I have decided these goods. Now I can't produce unlimited quantity of this. See, when your mother asks you, what will you be eating today? When your mother asks you what you will be eating today, actually she is asking you what to produce, because you don't have unlimited resources. She can't behave like a marriage that she will be cooking all kinds of foods for you and you can go up to stalls and choose whatever you want to have. You have to make a choice what to produce today, because we have limited resources in the kitchen. Now she also has to decide about quantity. She can't produce unlimited quantity of anything. So first we have to decide what to produce, and then we have to decide about quantity also. Okay. Now comes guiding principle. Without this guiding principle, if this question is for 3 marks, you will get 2 marks. If it is for 4 marks, you will get 2.5. This guiding principle one line is so important. That's why I have written it in red. Guiding principle is such a combination of goods should be produced which gives maximum aggregate utility. Maximum aggregate utility. You know, if I am producing, imagine if I am producing pedigree, and on the other hand I am producing food, obviously food production will give more utility. It is more important to make human food rather than animal food. Some people may have dogs and they may have great love for their dogs. I have no intention to hurt their sentiments, but first priority is human beings. I can never say pedigree is more important than food production. In fact, if I were in power, I would ban pedigree in India, where so many people are sleeping without food. I can't allow people to have dogs and pedigree. Getting it? So we need to produce such a combination so that maximum aggregate utility, overall utility is maximized. We can't produce Ole effects. An economy like India can't think of these commodities: Ole effects, pedigree, and your other things, you know. So this is how things are working. Okay, so guiding principle is such a combination of goods should be produced which gives maximum aggregate utility. Fine. Next is how to produce. So the next problem is how to produce. How to produce means I have to make a choice between the technique of production. Okay, like if mama is cooking rajma, she has many choices. She can cook it in a pan or she can cook it in a cooker, but she knows in a cooker it will take lesser time. Okay, so I have to make a choice between technique of production. Once mama asks you what will you have today, so she decides what to produce. Next question she has to answer, how to produce. I'm talking at micro level first, very micro level. Okay, similarly in a firm I have to decide whether to use labor intensive technique of production or to use capital intensive techniques of production. I can see some students raising hand. I will be taking up doubts little later. Okay, labor intensive techniques and capital intensive technique. So labor intensive technique is one where more of labor is used, and capital technique is one where more of capital is used. Okay, more of capital is used. Okay, so an economy has to decide whether to use labor intensive method or capital intensive method. For example, if I'm talking about e-rickshaw, it is a labor intensive technique of transportation. If I'm talking about metro, it is a capital intensive mode of transportation. Okay, so every product can be produced using labor intensive or capital intensive. Online classes are capital intensive, face to face classes are labor intensive. Everything you think of, anything, it can be labor intensive. Like for treating corona patients, if we are using robots, it is capital intensive. If we are proceeding the way India is proceeding, we are using labor intensive methods. Okay, so for each and everything we have these two methods. Now question comes, which one do we use? So guiding principle is which gives us least cost combination, that method which gives us minimum cost. Our objective is to minimize the cost and maximize the profit. Okay, so guiding principle is use such a technique which gives you least cost combination. Like mama will produce anything with that kind of technique of cooking which will minimize her cost in terms of gas consumed, in terms of time taken. Okay, so similarly a firm decides that technique of production whereby it can get maximum output with minimum cost. Okay, last is for whom to produce. It is the problem of question of how to distribute the product among the various sections of society. You know, like national product is the total output generated by the firms. The total output ultimately flows to the households in the form of income, that is their wages, rent, profits, or interest. Understand it like this, that if I am a producer and I am producing, say, maybe I'm producing medicines, and overall my total revenue from production and sale of medicines is 1 lakh. Okay, now this 1 lakh cost means what? I might have hired labor, so I will be paying them wages. I might have taken a building on rent, I will be paying its rent. I might have taken some in capital on interest. I will be paying interest on that capital, right? So this income will distributed amongst various people in the form of their wages, rent, profits, or interest. Okay. Now, if this income is equally distributed, goods and services will also be equally distributed. If this income is unequally distributed, goods and services will also be unequally distributed. Okay, for example, you can understand it like this. I'm producing my teaching services. For whom? Answer is the one who can pay for it. I'm not producing it for one and all. I'm producing it only for those who can pay for it. Somebody left in between, I don't know why. So I'm producing it for those who are who can afford to pay for it. In market there are so many things available. There is no tag on it that it is produced for Ghazal or for Manya or for Mehak. No, Anybody XYZ who can pay for that particular commodity can buy that commodity. So for whom we are producing? The one who can pay for it. So question comes, who can pay for it? The one who has income. So ultimately question comes, should income be equally distributed or unequally distributed? Answer is, it should be equitably distributed. There is a difference between the word equal and equitable. Equal means in the family everybody should have 4 chapatis. Equitable means according to one's diet one should get food. If I will say that in test you will all get equal marks, you will not be happy about it. Why should I study if everybody will get equal marks? Similarly, nobody will bother to do CA, CS, MBA, medical engineering if everybody will have same income. We are saying there should be difference in income, but that should be according to your qualification only. It should not be that much that one person can't afford to feed his kids and another person is hiring a coach for his dogs, or purchasing pedigree for his dog. Getting it? So guiding principle is national income should be distributed in such a way that no one can be made better off without making anyone else worse off. Understand it like this: without making Ghazal worse off, I can be better off. So this option is better. Without making Mehak worse off, I can be made better off. This one is a good option. But there comes a situation which is optimum, which is the best. At that situation, no one can be made better off without making anyone else worse off. Okay, means if you want to make me better off, you will have to make Ghazal worse off. If you want to make me better off, maybe you will have to make Mehak worse off. That means at that point of time we are on the optimum. There is another guiding principle also for this, which says that at least basic needs of all must be fulfilled. First we need to pay attention on basic needs of all. A country like India should never have malls, beauty parlors, saloons, Ole effects, pedigree, Red Bull. These are the products I'm very much against as an economist. I strictly believe that they should not be there in our economy. Our economy doesn't need it. We can't afford to have it. Okay, so we should have more of food, clothing, shelter, education, health, basic things, sanitation. Now what I am expecting as an economist, in the month of May and June, corona will create huge problems. How? India doesn't have the water facility, and in the month of May and June, in our slums we don't have water connections. Now if you will send water through Delhi Jal Board or any other thing, one tanker and thousands of people, what will happen to social distancing? How things will be managed? And this all will happen because for so many years we kept sleeping. We didn't pay attention to our population rise. We didn't pay attention to education of the people, and we kept it ignoring it. Okay, we shall manage. But now we shall have to pay the price for it. So these are the kinds of things which we need to understand when we are saying for whom to produce.